This episode, let me give you a few reasons to watch this phenomenal, but little known action movie from the late 80s. I did notice last time I forgot to give you a synopsis, so this time, let's start with a synopsis. Peter Weller plays attorney Roland Dalton. Dalton has one more week defending criminals until he starts a new career on Wall Street, a career conveniently arranged by the father of his fiancée, Gail Feinberg, played by Blanche Baker. But Dalton's final case pulls him in deeper than ever before into the world of law and order. Dalton is representing known drug dealer Michael Jones, played by Richard Brooks. Jones has been arrested for killing an undercover narcotics officer, Patrick O'Leary. But Jones contends he had no idea that O'Leary was a cop when he shot him, and that he only shot him in self-defense. Now, with the help of his maverick cop friend, Richie Marks, played by the excellent Sam Elliott, Dalton begins to uncover information that points the finger at some bad apples in the police force. Information that makes Jones' self-defense story more and more believable. Let's go through the reasons to watch Shakedown. Reason 1. The cast. Peter Weller. RoboCop himself, people. If that doesn't speak to his creds, I don't know what you want. Although his performance in that was a little wooden. He had just done RoboCop, possibly his greatest film, the year before. In 1984, he had done The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension, which is a fantastic film, but has never gotten the sequel despite being promised, or had anything else mentionable done with the IP, sadly. After this, he would go on to do Leviathan, RoboCop 2, and Screamers. He still does a lot of work on the small screen. He wisely chose not to be in RoboCop 3. Sam Elliott. I really considered mentioning this guy first, because I really believe he outshines Weller in this film. Yes, this guy.
Attempted murder of a police officer. It's gonna get your friend here 3 years in the joint. What are you gonna do? You gonna go along with him, or you wanna assume the position that they bust you for loitering or some other bull charge? I know what you're thinking. You're young and fast. I'm old and slow. What are you gonna do? Dumb question.
By this point in his career, he had done The Quick and the Dead. No, not that one, the other one. Which is an adaptation of the Louis L'Amour novel. The Shadow Riders, also from writer L'Amour. Then in the Sackett's TV series, also by L'Amour. The year after Shakedown came out, immortal classic Roadhouse would be released, in which Elliott plays mentor/bouncer Garrett. That role alone solidifies this man's action credentials. After that, he played in Tombstone as one of the Earps, was in the excellent Rough Riders miniseries, The Big Lebowski, We Were Soldiers, Hulk, and just recently did The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot, which sounds ridiculous, but is a great introspective movie with a bit of action. Over the years, he became kind of typecast as a cowboy, especially with all the L'Amour book adaptations he did. Bit of a side note, to my mind, Louis L'Amour is the quintessential Western author. As one of the bad guys, you have Richard Brooks, who you might recognize from The Substitute and The Hidden, both excellent films. Blanche Baker, who had a bit part in the Schwarzenegger movie Raw Deal. John C. McGinley, who was in Point Break, Seven, Platoon, Office Space, The Rock, and had a big part in Scrubs. Patricia Charbonneau, who was in K2 and worked with Weller again on RoboCop 2, albeit in a very bit part. Let's move on to reason 2. The director, James Glickenhaus. He's not really considered one of the great directors, but his body of work leaves an impression. He directed The Exterminator, The Soldier, The Protector, which is a very unique Jackie Chan film, and McBain. He produced Maniac Cop and Ring of Steel, which you'd be pretty safe skipping. Many of Glickenhaus's films have a very gritty feel to them. Some you could almost call sleazy. I really like his down-to-earth view of New York City. You used to see a lot more of that in cinema. I feel like that's missing for a lot of today's films, especially in the action genre. Side note, originally the film was going to be called Blue Jean Cop and was released on the foreign market with that title. And my final reason number 3, the action. There were so many good action sequences in this film. There's an excellent scene where Elliot drives a motorcycle with Weller on the back chasing a bad guy. There's a great fight on a Coney Island roller coaster. The finale features Elliot and Weller chasing down a plane on the runway. I've seen a lot of complaints about blue screen use in this final sequence, and it not having aged well. I agree, but it did not detract at all from the film for me. Y'all are letting yourselves get spoiled by modern CGI. In closing, Shakedown is an excellent fun film and definitely an essential action movie. Elliot totally outshines Weller as far as action in this movie, but Weller plays a lawyer you actually like. Sadly, Shakedown is not on any of the streaming services without paying more than your usual subscription. If you can find a way to watch it, and you like gritty action, you won't regret it. You might just find yourself a forgotten classic.